No, you might be just not listening.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
How does she know?
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
And I just... Okay. No trespassing. This property is taken by video surveillance. Trespassers will be prosecuted. What is to be basically own the house? Does that count? Trespassing? Like, I don't know. I might not talk to different videos because I prefer to see everything. I'm returning to talk what you talk, so.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Oh.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
The Finches. Do I go down? Or do I go up? I just went out just because I know the truth.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, so it's probably the same thing down there with the tree. I see why it is true. Hi. Hello. Howdy total. It was beautiful. I forgot what these flowers are called.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Look at kid. From what I can see, there's a kid in this. Wait, hold on. What the heck is that? Is that a boat? It's a dragon.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband.
Oh.
I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
I feel like it should have been like part of that. Like a dragon coming out the house and everything. He looks like a kid. It's Milton Finch. I see a bunch of those up there. The frog's getting on my nerves.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Okay, I'm just curious now. I don't think I was supposed to be here yet, so I'm gonna go check the front door.
I heard something moving around in the garage. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I prefer to check out areas. That's always missing person files the same person. Okay. Garage. I think I've seen parts of this game, but I wanted to play it myself. So. I'll take a picture. Parts of this game. I already finished it. Just so I can experience everything myself.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
I thought I was gonna try to open the door. I didn't think he was gonna crawl. Can I take this off? This off. Oh, right.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
I'm glad she's telling us now. Cosmic cuisine, the book of mushrooms, the smoke in the forest, the pleasures of Japanese cooking, Pacific pantry, the Northwest chef. These are like a bunch of cooking books. Smoke in the forest reminds me like when you're cooking like stuff or when you're camping. That's what I think that is. Somebody was making something and never finished. Not a way I can play with that or that. No. Ooh, it's creepy.
For the first time in years,
2002.
I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Edie. This is Edith. Dawn. That must be her mother. Lewis. That's her brother. Finch that died. Edith, son of Dawn. I was correct. So Dawn is their mother. Great grandson. But I'm sure that is the grandmother.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Cat. Yes.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Why only one is my question. I think I could pick that bottle up. Can't. This is beautiful. Oh yeah, this is a bunch of.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
That looks like blood, but it's just that one.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
This is Edie's grandmother.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
could never imagine my grandma. I'd love her to much to be
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
It looks like she got too many books, and that's about it. About what? Somebody had a big imagination, and somebody was obsessed with cooking. And it's old, so you have to be careful.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
It sank? What? Can I go in it? Look up. I don't know if this is Edie. Or Edith. Maybe Edie, because it's in black and white. And I think those would have been colored.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Barbara.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
She was an actress. I don't want to play it again.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
That depends on how long she went missing and how she went missing. Richard doesn't game feel.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Whirlwind? Like a big storm happened? Or... See, that's what I saw in the thing. Can I look through it?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
It looks like a painting if you look at it closely. I was wondering, because I remember, if we remember, I saw the same thing in the garage. Can I sit in this?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
Oh,
Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Oh, so Edie's the one that made the peepholes. But Mom's the one that closed them. Like this one. This is Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
You're probably born in 2000. I don't want to go in that room yet because it's open. So I'm just going to look at the ones that aren't open yet. Sven and Edie. So this was their room. This is the grandma.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Gregory. I don't know who that is yet.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
This was Calvin. The other part says Sam, so this must be both rooms.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
This is kind of sad.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
there's a door. Oh, no. What is
Edie's
it?
father, Odin, built the original house.
Oh. Odin? Like in... Okay, I'm stopping.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Oh, so that must be who she is with Bigfoot. I'm curious about this part, though.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
So this is her great Uncle Walter. Got you.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Kind of smart. So pretty.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Can I open it?
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
I'm trying to remember. I was gonna say, I think this is Molly's room, from the way it looked.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
I guess these pictures are on Molly's room, especially because of that one from what I looked.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Her mom locked the door? Nowadays it's the other way around. You would lock the... You would lock the door from the inside.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Oh, Christopher. It's kind of sad. She gets locked in the room. It's bedtime.
I kept eating and eating.
Hey, toothpaste? So we ate gerbil food, which is like a carrot from what I saw.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window.
It's beautiful.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
No, I don't want to go
And
out.
suddenly, I was a cat.
Alright. Oh, okay.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Whoa! Okay. Can I jump up there? No. Can I jump up there? Oh, can I jump here? Can I jump too? Oh, okay.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
That looks like Edie and the first Edith. Edith, senior. She's where did I jump to now? Where'd the bird go? Oh, okay.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Look out.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I could tell she was getting really tired. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Something bigger. Like
A mama rabbit.
Mama rabbit. Why is it on Mama? Oh yeah.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer.
And I was wondering, Christopher was still there, I was wondering where they were. Oh, okay. Is it a gerbil? Is it us?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
So next seems to be Barbara.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Mole man? What kind of...
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Sam Photo Award 69 or 69. Conspiracy Now, Sam Medal Ceremony 63. Home Movies, Weird America, The Finches. I guess the Finch first. My Friend Big Butt, it must be about Barbara. Chapter 7, Edith Interview and Random Junk. Molly Conference. Mysteries of Death and Thereafter.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
But she was. 1937.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
I wonder how it fell. I wonder if it was really fully secured or something.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
That must be us right there.
Her room was like a museum.
Do I open this before? Or?
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
So that's Edie's father. Must be where she was gonna put that. No questions what happened to Edie now.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Oh yeah, electricity off. Never mind.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother.
Hey, you're streaming. Nice.
The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind,
hey, you're streaming.
that was it.
Nice. Hey, you're streaming. Nice. Hey, you're streaming.
Hold on. Hi. It's nice to see you. Hold on. I forgot. I put that from text to speech on. I didn't want that on. I was just gonna read them. Yes, I am streaming. I wanted to see this game and play all the way through.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
You're going at an angle now.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
I don't like this.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
I don't like this one bit.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
I don't like this.
That's the day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Oh, I'm kind of sad because he... And I did that at the same time,
Calvin's
too.
story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Wow. I gotta grab some. That was sad. I didn't want to do that. I want to stop. Oh god, so that's how Calvin lost the brother. Was the swing. Because if we look at the swing, it's broke on one side. But it's like really, really short, so it doesn't touch the ground, so that would make sense. You know, it'd be sad if that happened. But now he feels like it's his fault because his brother's gone. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's still going. Hold on. How is has it stopped yet? It's like it comments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it just does it at random times depending on your comment. Okay. The second person is me because we're
After
trying
the
to read.
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Okay. Yep.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
That's sad. Oh. That's interesting. Oh, it's good. No, it's up. Okay. I like that. I might do that if I can get a house with secret rooms in it.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Whoa.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Like after? Like, like Because if I can remember, they said she was a movie star, and then America got tired of it. Like, when they stopped caring about it.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Oh,
Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
You're a has-been.
But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Oh, no.
So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
So that's
I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
I like this.
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Really? Why does the comments keep repeating? I don't know why it's doing that, but I have the comments up on my screen, so if you want to comment, I can still see them. And they had to go with Michael Myers.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Or, is it Michael Myers? Or am I thinking that? Or am I thinking Jason Voorhees? I don't know which one. Hello? I'm gonna get some comments for this. Oh, I don't like this. It's something sharp, not just a crutch. Oh, can I hit this?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well,
Okay,
I'm not
then.
scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay,
Barbara!
I'm coming up.
This
is a trick. You're dead, Walter.
I mean, Walter! My person. Wait, why is it? Ooh, I don't like this. Ooh, I don't like that. Quick clap. Oh, wait, going out. We're going out. Dude, that's what I was wondering about.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
She heard whispering.
Don't open it. Don't open it. Don't open it.
From inside the house.
Don't open it. Oh.
Oh dear.
You were wonderful. The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
I don't trust it.
And she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Ooh.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Okay, that was just dumb.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
What I'm wondering is about that ear part. That's all I'm wondering about.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
She didn't want me to open it and get the key. I'm trying to think. I've been in Walter's. I've been in Molly's, Calvin, Edie's, the bathroom, that room. Okay, so I'm all good upstairs. I was like, oh yeah, Sean, if you're still here, and the comments will keep repeating, I don't know why. My friend came in here a while ago. I don't know if he's still in here, and they kept doing the same thing every time. I'm gonna get a house like this. I'm gonna get a house, have people build it, but I'm gonna build stuff around it. Just build the outside. But everything else I'll build myself. The family's insane. See baby stuff down here. You should buy me some food. I haven't eaten yet.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Tetanus shot? Because there's a bunch of wood and stuff down here. Is it because of that? Or is it just moldy? I've seen stuff like this. This is carpentry work. I've been thinking about doing stuff like that.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
I wonder what she was hiding. It wasn't presents.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. I'll be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
It's like an old bunker.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
So this must be where he's dumping out his trash.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
So he got hit by a train. He's sad.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
So he was there the whole time she was there. And she never knew he was there.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
So give me some barbecue sound. I love some barbecue.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
The light thinking there.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Oh, was I missing anything? I was curious about that thing up there. Oh no, there's that thing, okay. There's two things up there I was curious about.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
That is true.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Lucy, Daisy, Charlie, Tut, Coco, Zoe, Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, Derpy Jr. Oh, we got more. Oliver, Bob, Shadow, Christopher, oh, the faces. Satsy. Like a frog, baby.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly. Born December 11th, 1937. Died December 13th. So she was on 10. It's 2 days after her birthday. Edith Finch. Born April 25th, 1950. Died September 23rd, 1961. So he was 11. Sven. Born June 17th, 1915. Died August 26th, 1964. Edith Finch. Born April 8th, 1917. Died December 5th, 2022. Walter Finch. Born August 29th, 1915. Died March 31st. What's that? Oh, that's beautiful. About hers, what was it supposed to say? It's just a bunch of words. It was all. Barbara Finch. Born August 31st, 1944. Died this August 31st, 1960. She died on her actual birthday. 26 years ago. Hold on. 16 years ago. So
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
So that's what that is. It's their house.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Sam Finch, Gus Finch, Gregory Finch.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
My question is what happened to Milton. My question is this. Oh, I just see now. The crown. I was trying to figure out what the thing was. That's interesting.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Get over!
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Look at everything.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
What? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
That was funny.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Let's see. Maybe. Or was it? Could have been.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at?
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Don!
Oh! Okay.
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Sweetheart. Oh.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Okay, go! I'm ready! Go, 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 go! Get up there, go!
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
That's sad. He died of hunting trip. No, not a door. Okay. Go back in.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
I don't want to click on anything.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish you could have told us. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Sad. Dying, out of that, and there's stuff in here except for that. It's not wide open.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
anything in here? Oh.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
I didn't see that coming.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Because he got killed in the storm. House rules: no playing outside without permission, no answering the door for strangers on the after dark, all chores before dark, respect others. Duty, darn, sweep, trash, gas, mountain, mow yard, Greg, be a baby.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Oh, so that's who Sanjay is. Okay, so his father.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
I don't know if that. I feel like this was a dragon was supposed to go.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Into a native high something haven.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Oh.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
He just disappeared in that church.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
This is what happened to the painting. Because I think it was a full-on door. Now it's just like if somebody messed with it. Now you can't get in.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Do I go this way now? Missing something? That's where the castle comes from.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room, except Louis. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
With the marijuana.
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Me. When I first started the game. Still playing in there pretty bad.
Dear Mrs. Finch, As Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats and toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Minneapolis, I like that one.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Actually, also, it's a handsome queen.
The prince was on his own quest for radiant rainbows.
I like that.
He followed the sound of his
I like
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
This is how my imagination is.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
It really looks sad.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Didn't work.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, they got to be. That's sad. So I'm trying to remember everything that happened. So I guess Edie, from what I saw, Edie just died from, I guess, old age, or maybe because of her medicine. She drank alcohol with it. Her husband Sven died from that dragon. Milton went missing. They don't know where. Louis committed suicide. I'm trying to remember who. Barbara. Don't know what really happened. Apparently she was killed though. Walter got hit by a train. Odin, Edie's father killed when he was trying to bring his family and his home somewhere else. Dawn's father, I forgot his name. I think it was Calvin, if I'm correct. No, that was Sam. Died by falling off a cliff from the hunting accident. His twin brother got killed because he flew off of his swing, maybe probably into some rocks, probably didn't make it fully into the water. Or maybe it's because it was low, he hit the ground kind of hard. Dawn died from sickness. Edith died during giving birth to we know now, whose name we do not know. I'm trying to think if we missed him. Molly apparently died from getting eaten by something. What? I do not know. I'm trying to think if that was everybody. I believe that was it. Oh, Gregory, the small one, and Gus. Gus died from some kind of from a storm, if I'm correct, and then Gregory drowned. And that's all I can remember so far. So, are those the people that play the part? Like the actual team? Or? I'm trying to see. We got everybody. Molly died from... I want to say she died from starvation, because that's what it sounded like. Barbara sounded like she got killed. Calvin flew too far from the swing. Sam got killed in a hunting accident. Edie died from old age. Finn got killed by a dragon. But the dragon slide. Odin died trying to bring his family to there. Walter died, got hit by a train. Kay, who I believe was Sam's first wife. I don't know if she died or if she just left. And then she couldn't take it because Gregory died from drowning. Gus died from a storm accident. Dawn, sickness, Sanjay that died before her. Their death we don't know. Louis, suicide. Milton disappeared and Edith died from old age. Or Edith died in childbirth. That was too much to handle. I don't know if I could do that again. I mean, Everybody has to go eventually. Some people go too soon. I think. I'm getting Odin. No, I'm trying to think who's the most unique story I could think of is Melton's. It's just he disappeared and they don't know how. Especially how the stories were made. Melton, he just disappeared in a painting. They don't know how. Molly died from starvation, but thinks she was gonna get eaten by. I'm gonna guess the big old squid. If it was a snake, I wanted to say it was a snake, but I don't know. I think the most common ones were Dawn's, Edie's, Edith's, and Lewis's. Mostly own Gus and Gregory's. Everything is either an accident or somebody was murdered. I think the one I relate to most is Lewis. Big imagination is sometimes scary. But to anybody else that's watching, appreciate you. I don't know what everybody's been through. But if you're not like me, you're not crying. I do hope you still enjoy the game. And watch me play and be quiet. So after all that, I will end it here. Because I might start crying. I don't want you guys to hear me crying. This is Alpha. I'll catch you guys again another time.